I have just killed my first US citizen. His eyes were green and hair was brown, and he had two children, one going through college. This was, as unbelievable as it will sound to the police, an accident. Oh shit, are you sure he's dead, Doc? I fired 7 bullets through his chest. He might have been grey. He was. Oh, he found us? Must have followed me on the plane. God damn it, you need to learn how to lose a trail. I've never been on the run before. This is hardly an easy exorcist. Forget it. It's okay, I'll help you. Where are you? Airport. Go to the parking lot, 5th floor. I'll meet you there in 10. Copy that. And that's where my American adventures began, you could say. With a phone call. Working at the Genera in England, I never thought anything like this would have happened in a million millennia. I swear, just yesterday, I was making a cup of coffee in the employee break room, thinking of how funny it was to see Duchess get the promotion when all she did was sleep. I remember going to my superiors to ask about this, and I remember when Lilith responded with, "Dr. Cloud," she squawked, "other employees' affairs are none of your concern." She looked to be wearing more makeup than usual. Her breath smelled of cherries. But then that night became a blur. There was screaming and reports of a new fossil classification, but the higher-ups kept correcting them, saying the most pointless of disclaimers. This is not a new fossil. If you are killed, so be it. But be killed with the knowledge that this is no new fossil. Thank you, and have a nice day. I remember hearing Dr. Walls say that before having a fist go directly through his head, officially terminating him from the Genera records. Creatures ran past my door, and some of them looked vaguely like fossils, while others looked like entirely new species. Whether in shock or in my deliberate calmness, I simply remained at my desk, filing paperwork into the drawer labelled "To Do". The bings passing my door seemed to leave me be for the time being, and after an hour the facility was quiet, and it was time for me to go home. I got my coat and I headed for the exit, but then I saw someone stand in front of the moonlit window next to the Genera entrance. His eyes glowed, and he appeared either exhausted or hunched over due to possibly scoliosis. His breathing sounded laboured, and his teeth gleamed in the night. "Greetings, Dr. Cloud." His voice sounded like cherries. "State yourself." As blunt as that sounds, that's actually how I normally greet people I don't know. It does its job well. "Why don't you know me?" His head tilted to a perfect 90-degree angle. Physically impossible for any healthy human. "I'm Grey." The name did not ring a single jingle bell in the Christmas carol of my memories. I remained quiet, and he started pacing around me in a figure eight. "The worlds are opening, Dr. Cloud. Everything is falling. Unexpected developments are happening. CC's rise. Rapture is coming. And all the socks are tumbling around in the dryer. Didn't you notice?" I felt an uncontrollable urge to grab my temples and hum a lullaby. Everything went blurry, and the only thought running through my head was that this figure circling me was truly malevolent. So I said the first thing that came to mind. "Sorry, I don't speak English." And then I ran out the door, leaving the Topography Genera Center East behind me. I got into my car and drove off, leaving the town of Benishir. A few hours later, I was staying in a Holiday Inn, taking deep breaths, wondering what in the world was happening. Oddly enough, I was more concerned over the paperwork I wouldn't get to fill out. Thinking of this made me feel disgusting, like some kind of delinquent, not unlike that good-for-nothing colleague of mine, Liquid Len. I considered hiring a prostitute for the night, if only to continue my streak of disorderly conduct. It was then that someone knocked at the door. "Dr. Cloud, open up!" The voice was male, sounded of British origin. Was probably not Grey, so I answered it, and saw a rather average-looking young man standing at my door. I remember his t-shirt more clearly than I remember his face. It was of a cockroach with the head of Jesus, and it simply said, "Rapture is coming." Just as Grey had said. I felt faint. Again I instinctively said, "Sorry, I don't speak English." I nearly collapsed, but the man stepped in and helped me back to my bed. Relax, I'm on your side. Who are you? Names aren't important. Just know that I'm here to help. Do you know what's going on? I was about to ask you the same. The conversation continued on, an equally and predictably useless note for a good half hour. The man refused to give a name for himself and didn't seem to know what was going on. I didn't even know, honestly, that anything was objectively wrong. The world outside seemed fine. Outside of the genre there were no discrepancies. But still, something about my meeting with Gray shook me to my core. So after working up the courage, I asked this young man about Gray. "Oh, Gray! You met him already?" I nodded. "Gray is, well, he's not from around here." He seemed to be carefully choosing his words. "He showed up along with some other things, like the robot dog." I asked about the robot dog, but he didn't seem to have many more answers than this. To sum up our conversation, something frustratingly vague was going wrong with the world, and it involved this malevolent figure named Gray and a robot dog. More answers were difficult to get, but the man was able to convince me, by which I mean he presented me with enough money to pay me for a year, to obtain some plane tickets to the United States of America. Why he wanted me there he wouldn't say, but he was coming with me, and we were running from Gray. Because yes, apparently Gray was following us. If I was to travel with this man, I demanded he gave me some kind of name. So he finally complied and said, "You have your code name, Dr. Cloud. I'll have mine. Exorcist Gamer." And that was how this whole tangle began.